Hey.
We
Me.
too.
Talk.
We need to talk.
Hey, we need to talk. So this is our bonus Christmas episode. So we have pretty much the whole team here together. We have Kim, we have Tika, Garrett, Brittany, and myself, Zach. And we're here today because we just want to, come and reflect at the Yuletide time of year and be able to look at the end of the year and see all the growth and all the possibilities. And we encourage you to do that same thing as well. As we're talking, also work to reflect on your own experience this past year and how have you grown as a person, as a comms director? How have you grown as a mother, as a father? And, let us know. We want to put you a part of that conversation. So leave comments down below. We want to hear from you as well. But today, what we're going to do, we're going to reflect and we're also going to look towards 2025 because how many of you actually thought that it was going to be a new year, new you in 2024? Silence, none of us. But 2025, we are going from surviving to thriving.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's not 2025, it's now or never. So we're going to move into 2025 thriving. So I want to ask you all, what is one thing that you have learned about yourself, about your job? What is one great lesson and piece of wisdom and nugget that you can share with our audience? So let's start with Tika.
Oh man. I have learned that working from home with a kid is a lot harder than I gave everyone credit for. So if you are a stay-at-home parent or a work from home parent, even if you're not a work from home parent, you're just a stay-at-home parent, it's rough. And we have lots of prayers for you. But you learn that if you have a good support group, if you have a good team that can surround you and check in on you, Brittany, you always check in on me and ask me how I'm doing, which I appreciate. And Kim, you're always so gracious with everything. You're like, you have a baby. It's okay. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I just learned that it's just to give yourself some grace and that you can do it. You got this. So
yeah, and Tika, you're right. The work from home is, so difficult to navigate. But I will say for all the people out there that are executives and leading people, work from home is way better. We don't want to go into offices. We're going to stay at home. So don't get any ideas. But Garrett, what is something that you've learned throughout this year?
Yeah, something that I really was wrestling with and dealing with and thinking about a lot post the conference that we had in Texas, which was really awesome. But just how important it is for us to kind of raise the bar of what it means to be church communication staff. Being in church communication is so varied. It means different things to different people. Some people it's a volunteer role for 2 hours a week, and some people it's overworked 55 hours a week. And but I think what we're noticing, especially with the help of this team, is that there really are some best practices. There really are some ways that we can unify what it means to be a church comm staff member. And I think it's important that we lean into that and share wisdom and really kind of try to build into this profession so that we can really, show people that this is a career choice. This is a way that you can serve the church. This is a way that you can be both creative and strategic with what God has gifted you with. And so I think the more that we do shows, podcasts like this and conferences and work with churches, the more that we can kind of build up together and all work, do our best to really make sure that church communications is as good as it can be.
I've gone through a lot of life change this year. And I think because of that, it's kind of forced me into having to decide if I want to be vulnerable or not. And the lesson I think I've learned most this year is that vulnerability is actually a strength and not a weakness. And so like learning how to, I've actually seen it just promote strength in other people when I've done things or said the thing that's super honest or whatever. So I think that having that mindset shift, I think being in leadership so long in life, like I just always, you're kind of like closed off to like maybe sharing what's going on with you. But I'm just thankful for the people in my life that I can be vulnerable with,
Brittany, to even tag on what you said, like the vulnerability aspect, and this is something that I've had to learn both professionally and personally is I've learned for myself, I hold a lot of space for people's feelings and even their thought processes in regards to maybe their opinions or things related to what I do or what I produce. And I've learned, I've really had to learn how to allow people to have voices at the table because that's how people feel valued. But I've also had to learn how to set boundaries on those voices because sometimes I allow those voices to, maybe dictate what I think is best or what I think is the best way to move forward. So it's that mixture of having empathy for people and wanting to give them a space without letting them have too much control. And I think that's a constant balance there. Kim, I want to ask you that same question because you have had a very intriguing year in regards to like church communications in the form and fashion that it's existed is a January 1 thing. And so for 2024, this has been your baby. And for those that don't know, like Kim has worked so hard and so tirelessly to get us even to this point. So what have you learned? And I want you to get a little bit deeper, both like personally and professionally. What have you learned about yourself this year and the leadership and like what have you dived like tell us what you've done like truly.
I've learned a lot this year, and I think that's so important is reminding ourselves that like there is no I've succeeded at the learning, like I'm 45 years old and like I still have so much to learn, so much growth, so much development for myself in life. And so all of us kind of knowing and understanding that and knowing like you can and should be constantly growing and constantly learning. And so there's that consistent learning across the board. But this year, probably one of the things that I've learned the most is to just step back a little bit more. I'm one of those types of personalities that when things happen, I just kind of jump into it immediately. I either respond to it or if there's like conflict or something happening, like I will get defensive for, and I understand like I get defensive. I talk to my team about this sometimes, like I get defensive for the people that I work with more than I get defensive about like myself. Like you can sit there and trash on me all you want. And it happens. Like there's plenty of things that have been said about me this year. And like, yeah, you can do that all you want. And I'll be like, well, that sucks. And like, okay, God, pick up and keep going. But as soon as you hit somebody like on my team, once you hit like one of my people, I get really, really defensive. And I kind of like go into that defensive mode and just, really kind of like, understanding and learning, like, you don't have to always jump to defense immediately. Like you're not probably going to be heard really well when you get into that, like, I'm getting attacked. And so I got to defend mode. Cause what you're doing, right? Like if you think about it, this is terrible, but if you think about it, like I am getting attacked. And if I just immediately like put this up, like, I don't know if this is like somebody coming at me or somebody coming to me. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, because I just immediately get here. And so, trying to step away from that stuff more and step back and go like, step out of your defensive mode. Like if you need to step away from this conversation to get out of defensive, to make sure that you are really having a good, clean, clear conversation, so much healthier and so much better. And you can kind of set those lines and those boundaries for yourself. And so really, I really have learned that, for myself, like in a lot of those conversations and obviously would, recommend that for anybody else as well. So yeah. And like, here with Church Communications Group, I mean, we launched the Church Communications Group really like Zach was saying, right? January 1 is when it really became the church communications group. And our team has come together in this last year. Zach even joining our team around May. Garrett, when did you join? Were you around like May or so too?
Yeah, time one.
Yeah, and Tika, like I think right before that. And so our team coming together this year, and us as a team, I think that's like one of the biggest things that you can do in a company. It's there isn't this like just dictatorship, right? Like you can't have a dictatorship. And even if you're like the CEO and the boss of the bosses, right? Like having a dictatorship is never healthy for a people and for a team. And so letting people come into those conversations, letting them kind of go, this is what I can bring to the table. We have these cohorts that we do, and this 12-week starter, and just being able to hear from the team and go like, what is it that you feel really is a strength of yours to speak on and to lead on and to really help churches with, and for everybody to go, this is something that I feel really passionate about, that I know a lot about, and I would like to, great, let's put that in the mix here, and allowing people to be a part of those conversations. I think that just builds a healthier team, and it builds more ownership. Like I see in these faces here, as well as the rest of our team, I see people who want to be a part of this team because they own the team. They're not looking for a way out. They want to stay within Church Communications Group because they're like, I am a part of this and I own this part of it. And I have a responsibility here. And I like that has just been so much fun this last year, being able to kind of just help lead out this team and develop what is going to be the Church Communications Group. And, only a year right now into it, we'll see what 5 and 10 years looks like.
Yeah. And I think, Kim, that's like what you said is like learning from one another. But even being able to learn from the churches that we work with, a lot of them listen to our podcast regularly to, gain some more insight in between the times that we get to connect with them. But we have really learned a lot from the churches that we've worked with. We've learned different structures and systems, different leadership structures and different forms. And that has been huge for us because it has refined us not just as a company and how we work with churches, but it has refined us as individuals. And so those of you that have even if you've gotten on a 30-minute call with us, even if you've come to the road show and that was it, or you've worked with us throughout this year, we thank you for teaching us because we have grown and you have played an intricate part in us being able to influence other churches there. And so you guys are just as much of a part of that growth of Church Communications Group as we are. So let's pivot the conversation from what we've learned to, because learning sometimes has a negative connotation of you learn from hard situations and have to navigate. But I want to ask you guys, what are you most proud of?
I had a friend of mine, he's also on staff at the church that I'm at, and he came back from a sabbatical. And the thing that he wanted most was to bring back the bulletin. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. I think Jesus comes back before I bring the bulletin back, So we need to talk conversations. We had some difficult conversations, that we entered into a season of honest discussion. And you just live, as a calm person, and he's on the pastoral staff, really trying to navigate through how do you work together when you just have different ideas of what you want to do. And so, I'm proud of navigating through that process. And we ended up I showed it at the conference, but it's nothing magical, but it's it's a card that we make for our Sunday morning that we only have to do 3 times a year.
Right.
So we went from an idea that came out to 52 times a year, 4 pages, whatever, to a double-sided half sheet card that we put out 3 times a year. And so I'm proud of that. I think my team did a great job of producing a really great looking card. But what I'm really proud of is just being able to stand up to what I knew was important in church comms. And that's more than just getting rid of the bulletin. It's about how we communicate efficiently, how do we leverage some of the new tools that we have as a church to not be dependent on print media and throwing away thousands of sheets of paper every Sunday. It doesn't seem like that's the way forward. And so I'm just proud of being able to communicate that to someone who had a different idea, and then working together collaboratively to find something that worked for both people, for the ministries that wanted kind of that weekly touch point, but also for my department to be able to put out something that's good and efficient and looks great. And so, yeah, it's just one of those projects I look back on and I think, I think we did that really well. And it could have gone poorly. We could have been hurt feelings and frustration, but instead we came together and we both excited with the end result.
I think for me, this might be kind of silly, but you guys don't know this, but I used to be really terrified of talking in front of people. And I had the worst stage fright ever, but none of you knew that. None of you knew that. I would shake like a leaf. It would be really bad. But when I spoke at the conference, I had no problem whatsoever. It was totally easy. The only one I had a little difficulty was when I had a little bit too much caffeine right before I spoke. But other than that, my stage fright kind of just like disappeared this year. And I don't know if it's just because like I had people who just were like fully confident that I could do it. Or maybe because it's topics that I'm like really passionate about and really just loved sharing. I could talk about so I could talk about self-care, building your team branding, all that stuff literally all day long.
Yeah.
And so it's just really funny because now most of my job is talking to people all day, kind of like you're on stage.
Don't let Tika kind of undercut herself. She is actually a dynamic communicator,
Incredible
in
communicator.
like truly in like multiple forms. And so also she's going to be going on road shows throughout the year. So you do not want to miss number one, Tika. You got some more opportunities to do public speaking. So
And I'm totally cool with it, which is weird.
But if you,
Tika, I have a question.
Yeah.
Was the caffeine my fault? Did I sabotage
Yes.
you because I thought you called?
Oh no. Oh no.
if you want to see Tika and hear her speak in person, you have opportunities all throughout the year to see Tika. Now, to the culprit that is sabotaging our whole team,
Right.
I'm sure now we know what Brittany's proud of, that she's taking down the team one by one. But Brittany, what are you proud of?
I am most proud of the sabotage of Tika's talk.
Perfect.
Just kidding. I think honestly, just I guess, when I don't know if you guys do this, but like look back and you're like, wow, I've really grown in that area. But like it's maybe been like 5 years casually putting in 1% every day or something. And I think that for me, it's like the ability to have hard conversations as such second nature is something I'm really proud of. Like I've had to have a lot of really tough conversations this year, and I haven't even thought twice about having them. Like it just like came supernatural. And so like I feel I'm just really proud of that. Like it's just it's like a really cool, it's a cool skill to have developed, and I'm thankful for the people that have helped me develop that. That's what I'm most proud of here.
I am beyond proud of the team that we have here in Church Communications Group. And I honestly, like, these people are some of the wisest, some of the best people that churches can connect to, and have such a heart to help churches grow, to help leaders in churches, church communicators and creatives in the church grow. It's not just about like, hey, like it's all about us. It's not even that. Like I hear more from our team just how passionate they are about the church growth. Like we celebrate things like a church that we know of, First Baptist Arlington, where like they used a free method. They basically like took a podcast and it was like, hey, go and do this. This is a free way that you can get people to know about your church event. And they took that and they went and implemented implemented that. And they now have hundreds upon hundreds of more people coming to their event because they implemented that. And it had nothing to do with paying us any money or doing anything. Now, I'm not saying don't like work with us. I'm just saying like that is something that we are highly celebrating because that's where it's at. Like we want healthier churches. We want healthier people in churches. And this team is passionate about that this team is like rock stars. I mean, come on. They're like, we have Zach on our team. Like this guy is social media strategist. Like I wouldn't trade Zach in for anything at this point in time. Like you bring me Brady Sheeher and I'll be like, that's nice, not interested. Like I've got Zach on the team and like, that's bomb right there. That is the best. Okay. I said I was 45 earlier. So bomb is still a word. And we've got Shanna. We've got a project manager that's like, you just like don't even understand. Like there are people out there, I'm literally going to drop this, that think project management is buildings. Okay. That's all they can like put their mind into is project management is like building and facilities. No, honey. No, she is like project managing churches, keeping them organized, keeping their stuff together. Let me tell you, you guys. And then we have Tika, we have Brittany, we have Garrett, we have Joanna, we have Jessica. I mean, our team is like, what? I literally wake up every day and I'm like, I get to do this with these people. And that is the greatest blessing to be able to wake up and get to like, people don't leave their jobs, they leave people. And I'm like, these are my people. I love them. I appreciate them. I grow and learn from them all the time. And it is the best of the best. And like, you know what, you guys would be lucky to be on a team like this. And I know I count it a blessing every day to be able to be a part of a team like this. So, there you go. There's mine. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, mine kind of aligns like with Tika is I've always been super passionate in various forms of like communication. I really think I probably should have did broadcast journalism because I enjoy it. And so like had a lot of opportunities, whether it be the podcast or road shows, conference, and even down to like social media kind of content there and creating promos for different things. Like all of those have been different forms of communications and how you can communicate on camera. And I'm so proud of becoming more well-versed every time. I told like Kim that months ago of like, I am proud of myself for being able to do a main stage session or host a Q&A panel and then be able to go into a room and host a breakout session with 20 people. And then from there, be able to move and do social media video content. And then from there, be able to shoot a promo for ads. And so I'm proud of that for myself. And then even taking steps of working more into performing stage performance, being able to sing more, be able to take classes that are acting based and really develop the way I communicate. And it comes into like, I'm proud of making space for myself because I think all of us have this imposter syndrome because, you know, I'm not Brady Shearer. Brady Shearer has like a ton of recognition to his name. And so sometimes you go like, oh, I shouldn't be speaking on this or in these spaces, but I'm proud for the hard work that I have to be able to set me up to deserve to be in those spaces and that I have allowed myself to take up those spaces. So I'm critical of myself sometimes, but I'm proud of like all of the progress that has been made there. So we've had like a pretty like productive year. Like it's been hard growing. We have really put I think we put our, what is it, to the plow, our shoulders to the plow. I don't know. We put our hands to the plow. I don't know. I always go back to that scripture of like the burden yoke is easy, light. So we've really burdened and yoked ourselves this year.
That
but
is
we've
definitely
seen some
what that meant too.
Yeah. I have a master's degree in theology, so that'll go great. So, but there are some really great things coming up in 2025 that we've been working this year to fine tune, set up. And Kim, how can people be able to resource that? Like, what resources do we have coming out? What
Yeah.
opportunities are they able to engage with us both in person, online? Give them a little bit of a sneak peek of 2025.
So 2025 is going to be crazy, y'all. Like 2024 was an amazing launch year for the Church Communications Group. And now 2025 is only building up to be more. We have our team with Jen and Brittany that are working hard on what is going to be the Church Communications cohorts. These are 12 weeks of deep dive. You and 25 other churches can get together with our team, and we're going to do deep dives into communication, into different areas of communication. We're going to audit those areas. We're going to give you some resources and some development into each of those areas. Things like social media, websites, how to build your teams, branding and messaging, all of this stuff. And our team, as those of us that are here right now, as well as others that are in the Church Communications Group, are going to be a part of those cohorts, really helping lead out churches. These are like I said, there's 25 spots, and so these are like, grab them as you can, because they're going to sell out, and then we're not going to have any space. So get in there. You can do that. You can just go to the Church Communications website, churchcommunications.com, and there is a cohorts page, and you can get details, start dates for each one. We're going to have one a quarter, and you can sign up for that. And they're super cheap, right? It's not like, oh, it's super cheap because we're cheap. No. It's cheap because we want to make it affordable for churches. We want them to be able to be a part of this. So it's like $199 for the 12 weeks. Anybody and everyone on your staff can be a part of any of the weeks. So dig in, learn more about that. We'll have the road shows that we just talked about. We're going to have our conference. We will have our Church Communications Conference again. Yeah, that's happening. ComCon 25 is happening in Chicago, Illinois. It's like a shining star. Okay, it's going to be on September 17th, 18th, and 19th. Anybody want to join in a little Chicago?
Really, people just need to come
Zach
so they can
really
see you
wants to.
unedited.
He's holding it all
Yeah.
in.
I'm more thinking of, there's the Nickelodeon show. I forget. She's like, Chicago, Chicago. Does no one know that?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe, well, I am the youngest one
You are.
there, so it's
You are.
probably.
You are. Yes. Some people on our team are like, Zach's like a brother. I'm like, he's like a son, because like he's that young. He could be my son. Okay. So yes. Like Tika was saying, you can come to the conference and see the unedited version of all that you get to see right here in front of you.
Because sometimes we have to edit.
Yeah, I'm not sure that people want to see the unedited version, but we're going to give it to them anyways. So that conference again is September 17th, 18th, 19th. You can go and register for that conference now. We actually had some Black Friday deals. We're going to have some secret deals. We're going to have a secret deal in January. So it's not a secret. If you're listening to this podcast, we are going to have a deal through January, in January only. And then after January, it'll be full price, one ticket, $249. In January, I'm throwing this out, $99 for your ticket, $99 for your ticket. Crazy. We're just throwing money away out here. Oh my gosh. And the people talk.
It's free. I mean, like, I'll pay for someone to go for $99.
I should make it free. I should. Yep. But I'm not going to because it is going to be $99. And the conference is going to be crazy, amazing. Our church communications team is there. We bring in some of the missional marketing group of company team as well. You guys will learn, you'll grow, you will walk away. This is a fully communications focused conference. It is legit. It is real, and it is going to be fun, and there's going to be good food. We do good food. That's for sure. Let's see what else. We've got our coaching. We've got our ongoing coaching. So yeah, I mean, if you just love like hanging with us every Tuesday, you would love hanging with us not on Tuesdays. So like, give us a call, like get on a call with us, because we love to chat. Zach and I meet with this church in Ohio every week. I'm going to throw them out, Cedar Creek. And now Jason Jones has to watch it because I dropped the church name and his name. Yeah, I did. Okay, so Jason, we meet with them every week, and let me just tell you, it is a fabulous conversation. We love chatting with them. They love chatting with us. They didn't say that, but I'm saying that for them. They love chatting with us. No, they do love chatting with us, and it's a great talk. But it's also a time of development, and they're able to go and implement ideas and thoughts in their social media, in their communications. Garrett's meeting with churches every day. Tika's meeting with churches every day. And we are able to invest into you and your church. And so, yeah, get on a call with us. Like, it doesn't cost any money to start the conversation. And then, we can go from there. So there's that. Let's see, what else is there? Am I missing something, you guys? We've got the podcast.
Season 2 is coming. Season 2 is coming. We've made it through season 1, season 2. But then also something to note is like even what we offer churches and how we serve you, it is constantly evolving and constantly growing. We got things such as developing a social media strategy in 4 to 6 weeks, all the way down to coaching or content creation. We do things such as graphic design or even working with your emails. Things such as helping your church with their branding. Like, we are constantly evolving and growing. So there is always something for you. And what Kim said is get on a call with us. We would love to have that initial call with you. We provide you with free resources. We can give you some direction in wherever you need to go. And it's customized to you. Yes. We don't have a script that we walk in with. We want to listen to you. We want to ask the right questions. We want to get to know you. And we will look to see how we can partner and serve you in any way that we can. So with that being said, we will see you in 2025. That's a wrap on Hey, We Need to Talk, Season 1. So check us out starting at the beginning of February. And from all of us at Church Communications Group, we say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we'll see you on the road.
Hey, we need to talk.
Thanks for tuning into the Hey, We Need to Talk podcast. We hope today's episode has equipped you with insights and strategies to enhance your church communications efforts.
Remember, we're here every Tuesday with fresh content to keep you up to date on what's happening in church communications. If you found value in today's discussion, we'd love for you to join us again next week by clicking the follow button wherever you listen to podcasts.
And hey, you're a part of this conversation too. So if there's a topic you'd like to talk about, make sure to leave a comment in the episode and on social media.
For more resources or just to set up a call with any one of our team members, head over to churchcommunications.com and check out our free online learning platform, CC+, where you can access a wealth of additional resources to support your church communications journey.
We're Zach and Kim, and from all of us here at Church Communications Group, we're looking forward to helping you find clarity, confidence, and connection in your church communications.